Now, for more on South Korea's economic future, I'm joined by CGTN global economics analyst and BERI CEO Saruhan Hatipoglu. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Rachelle.
So, given this political upheaval that we're seeing right now in South Korea, what are the short-term and long-term implications for the economy?
Well, the economy itself is not doing well. 2.7% growth, it's expected to go down, decelerate to 2.2% this year. So there are some short-term issues that if the politics continues the way it is, it won't be solved. And that is your private consumption, that is your construction investment. There has to be some kind of a tax cut, some kind of a fiscal boost to get the economy going. And for that, you definitely need a good political leadership there. But there are long-term problems. Exports dominate the industry, 46% of GDP last year. That is one big dependence on it. Corporate debt, about 170% of GDP. Household debt, 90% of GDP. These are huge numbers and long-term problems without which, again, with stable political leadership will not be resolved.
Now, speaking of problems, let's look at this issue of these really huge family-owned businesses, these so-called chaebols like Samsung and Lotte. We know that they have a huge impact on the economy, and that could be for better or worse, as we're now seeing with the scandals. Is there any consideration about perhaps breaking up some of these businesses so that they don't have such a big impact when things turn sour?
Right. They've been trying to do this for 15 years now. They call it economic democratization. And every time the opposition party gets in and gets this going, the leadership changes, and then it is delayed. And now this economic democratization is delayed for another 3 years up until 2018. Look, people want the change, Rachelle, and that's the important thing. President Park came to power promising to break this, and now she's involved in the scandal. People who demonstrated against her when the impeachment proceedings were starting, there were twice more people in the squares than in 1987 when they wanted to do direct presidential elections. People want this, and it is going to happen, whether the conservative states, which I don't think they will, or the opposition takes hold.
And more issues that we're seeing, obviously we have the political turmoil, we also have issues surrounding the THAAD anti-ballistic missile system. What do you think is the bigger issue of the two?
I think politics, because politics has to be, 6 months we've been watching South Korea just lose itself in this terrible situation, and the economy suffered. They need to get back on track. THAAD is a security issue. Yes, the new government that's coming in, if it's the opposition government, there's going to be some changes because there's some more leaning towards opening negotiations again with North Korea, working together with China, and there's going to be some policies against the United States, which includes the THAAD issue. But again, between the two of them, politics and THAAD, politics comes first.
Now, as we look at how that actually relates to the rest of South Korea's trading partners, what about the economic implications? You mentioned the DPRK. How is that going to affect South Korea's economy, do you think? Well,
I mean, there's uncertainty, and uncertainty is never good. We talk to investors all the time at BERI about this. They do like South Korea, but they need to get an answer as to what is going on. Whatever the United States has done under President Obama did not work with North Korea because they started doing nothing process. They will implode. They didn't. They relied on China imposing sanctions. It didn't work. So there has to be some kind of an engagement with them. And one of the opposition leaders is talking about that. Kaesong Industrial Zone, again, bringing back to life, which is a complete different step than what the current government has been doing.
Now, you mentioned some of the things that investors like. We know that South Korea has some of the fastest internet speeds in the world. They have trade deals with about 75% of the world's economy. So what do investors like and dislike, especially in the current business landscape there?
Well, in terms of foreign direct investment, you said it, IT sector, especially changing platforms now. A foreign IT venture company can come into South Korea. There's huge demand by the people. They can start up something. These used to be controlled by chaebols. They are not anymore because of the mobile platform systems. They can also go into manufacturing. There's a great strength in South Korea. But what we tell our clients, if they want to do that, there's still local manufacturing content regulations. So these companies will need to go find a local partner in South Korea and get to the market with that, and then strengthen afterwards.
And in terms of your outlook for South Korea, what would you tell investors?
We're telling investors that it's a strong market, but we also need to watch what the reform measures are going to be like. Look, once the impeachment proceedings started, the rumor has started. 700 million in assets investment had left the country. This is a huge amount. Corporate governance is what I hear from my clients all the time when they talk about South Korea. So they need to find a problem to this. And I think the opposition party has the right idea. We got to reform the chaebol system. It has started. It just needs to continue.
Implications if they don't reform it, given the uncertainty in the political arena right now?
Same old story. The relationships we're going to continue with. Businesses are telling the government, we don't want to give money. There is a Federation of Korean Industries. This is the business lobby. The business lobby decides who is going to give what company is going to give what. So this is kind of a sanctioned bribery going on. And it needs to be broken. If it's not broken, we're going to see the same stories. We're going to see same political scandals. And South Korea is not going to get to where it's supposed to be to live up to its potential.
Certainly a country full of potential. We'll have to leave it there. CGTN Global Economics Analyst and BERI CEO Saruhan Hatipoglu. Thank you again.